Try to understand layer masks in Photoshop CS6. Begin with any photograph and notice how in the layer panel we have 1, 2, 3 tools over. There's this rectangle. If you hover over it, it's going to say layer mask, add layer mask. So I'm going to click on this add layer mask button, and you should see your image now associated and linked with a white box, a white rectangle. What does this mean? Let's take a look here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to paint with the color black. So with black chosen as a color, use the brush tool. Any brush is fine. I'll just make a reasonable size brush, and I'm going to just start painting. Notice how I drew a little happy face here. It's good to be happy, not to be sad. And what happens is we're actually affecting the mask here in a way that some parts are becoming black. And now what a mask does is the parts that are black becomes transparent. So if I had another layer underneath it would reveal what's underneath. The parts that are black, that is, the parts that are white here in the mask are not visible. They're not transparent. Alright, let's try something else interesting. Let's press Ctrl-Z to undo that. I'm going to use the color white now. Let me switch the foreground color to white. Use the paintbrush. When I paint here with white, I'm painting the mask white, but it already is white. So there's no effect even though I'm using the paintbrush tool. Now let me change my color, foreground color to gray. So we'll choose gray, and notice how as we paint this gray, this is now gray, we partially reveal the picture that's underneath. So the darker the color, then of course the more transparent it is, whereas the more white the color is, the less transparent it is. This is an interesting property of layer masks. So what's nice here about layer masks is you can actually click on this white box here, the layer mask, right click, and you can delete the layer mask. So the nice thing about layer masks is that you can delete the mask without damaging the original image, and this is hugely powerful, especially when you're dealing with images that you don't want to damage. So let's add the layer mask again by clicking on this little rectangular box with a circle in the middle. So click here, we have the layer mask again. Let's try something else interesting. I'm going to click on this little default white foreground, black background color, and we're going to choose a gradient tool. The gradient drop-down box will choose the first color, which is a white to black gradient. Double click, and because we're on the mask mode here, if I choose the radial gradient, which is the second option, not linear but radial, like a circular, let's draw a nice gradient coming out of his hand. I'm going to drag it out this far. And notice how here in the little tiny thumbnail we see that we have some black in the middle, and therefore we basically made his hand transparent. Ctrl-Z to undo. That option was with reverse selected. Let's make sure reverse is not selected. With the reverse option not selected, I'm going to drag it out yay far, and notice how we just see the hand. So most parts are now black, and the fact that most parts are black, most parts are completely transparent. So Ctrl-Z to undo, and you can drag out a longer gradient line, and you see that the longer the gradient, the more gradual the fade, and the more gradual the fade, we have transparency occurring in a more gradual manner, but we still focus on looking at the hand there. So the idea of mask is powerful because you can always right-click, delete the mask, and not worry about damaging the original picture. However, is the same effect possible using some other technique without using masks? And the answer is yes. Let's try it another way. Ctrl-Delete to undo. Let's right-click and delete this layer mask. So here we are just working with our original picture. Is there another way of doing the same effect? If I use the elliptical marquee tool with a large feather setting such as 50 pixels, let's see if we can do something pretty close. I'm going to click around the hand here and then press delete. So you see that we also deleted the hand in a gradual way. Ctrl-Z Control-Z to undo. Let's go to select, inverse. So we're selecting everything but the hand, and then press delete. So we've created the same effect. I'm going to select, deselect, you'll see it clearly. We created the same effect without using layer masking. However, if you look at the original picture, we have no original. So if we save our file right now, file save, and you close your Photoshop, that's it. There's no room for undoing. And we lost our original picture, and someone's going to lose some childhood memories. So it would make sense in this case if we use this technique to make sure that we duplicate our original photo of the kid. Alright, so hopefully you have a little bit of insight with layer masks, and if you like this video, thank you for hitting that big thumbs up sign.